audible over there? Is it? Okay, thanks. Then I would like to call this meeting back to my order at 4:30 UC plus 1. Okay. Oh, is it? Well, this computer has a 3:30, right? Okay, 3:30 p.m. UC plus 1. If this is in your bingo card, you can change. Alright, so first I want to clarify a little something. In GA1 we went to a recess, but actually there was a bit of confusion. It was okay to adjourn that meeting because this is another meeting. But when we adjourn the session, we adjourn the whole thing and we go back when we are retired, so the next event. Is it clear now? I hope so. Okay, moving on with the agenda. We have the roll call of member organizations, and that's Putanda.
Hello everyone. So I'll just roll call out and you say I'm ready in your own language. IVSA Czech Republic. Say IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Germany. IVSA Ghana. Okay. Thank you. IVSA India. IVSA Indonesia. Okay. So we again have a quorum of 44 and 44 persons, so quorum is met.
42? 42. 142.
Thank you very much for that. Now moving on to the next point of our agenda, nominations for president position 2025-2026. Are there any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will be reopened at GA3. Remember that they will keep on being open until GA4. The next point is nominations for the 75th IVSA Congress, 1.5 years away. Are there any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed and will be reopened at GA3. If you have any questions about this, please be sure to ask any official or OC member. Alright, the next agenda point is nomination for the 75th IVSA Symposium, which will happen 2 years from here. We already mentioned that it can be hybrid, online, or in person. Are there nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will be reopened at GA3. Now, the next agenda point is position statement of reading for screen confirmation. And that is Susan.
Change the email.
So Samaran, IVSA score grading number 20. So hi everyone, this is like the first policy paper of the term prepared by IVSA score. It is position statement on grading confrontations for extreme confrontations. Introductions. The IVSA score addresses the pressing ethical and welfare concerns surrounding extreme confrontations in companion animal breeding by advocating for responsible breeding practices that prioritize animal health and well-being. This statement seeks to protect the dignity and welfare of companion animals and promote the safe toward welfare-centric breeding. The key points of this position papers are background that are arising from extreme confrontations, legislation for extreme confrontations across various regions, Europe, Australia, the United States, Asia and Africa, methodology, result, call for actions and conclusions. The result of this question paper are health impact. Extreme breeding practices in brachycephalics and miniature breed often results in serious health issues leading to the increased veterinary cost and a diminished quality of life for affected animals. Legislative gaps. Existing regulations on extreme breeding vary widely according to the regions, with inconsistent enforcement and often standards, despite some countries having laws in place. Cultural influence. In many cases, the demand for aesthetically desirable traits in companion animal outweighs the concerns regarding animal health. This cultural preference for certain physical characteristics contribute to the perceptions of breeding practices that prioritize appearance over well-being despite the associated health risks. So the call to the actions are for veterinarians to urge veterinarians to educate and advise breeders and pet owners on the importance of animal health and welfare, particularly regarding the negative health impact of breeding for exaggerated physical traits, to encourage breeders to prioritize animal health and welfare over aesthetic and to refrain from breeding animals with extreme traits, to advise to avoid processing of animals with exaggerated physical characteristics and to seek veterinary advice before acquiring of pets. For veterinary organizations, it is to improve veterinary organizations to lead public awareness campaign that highlights the significant health risks associated with breeding animals with exaggerated physical traits. Call upon legislatures to enact strict legislation against the breeding of animals with exaggerated physical traits and to establish enforcement mechanism to ensure compliance. And lastly, to researchers to urge to conduct comprehensive studies on the genetic and health implications of exaggerated physical traits and to provide veterinarians with knowledge necessary for corrective surgical procedures. The conclusion of this position paper was extreme breeding practice in animals compromises their health, leading to severe medical conditions and high veterinary costs. While some countries have regulations, enforcement is often an issue, and the demands for animals with exaggerated traits remain high. The IVSA advocates prioritizing animal welfare and addressing the misconceptions about extreme breeding. Finally, this position paper is being endorsed by all veterinary associations. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much, Susan. So we are not making a motion right now to vote on this. We will give you 24 hours to go through the document because it has been shared with the delegates. It's in our delegates drive. So you can read it, take your time, and then right now you can also ask questions in case you do have them. So are there any questions for Susan? Yes, Karina?
Kebenaran IVSA Germany, pilih number 22. I was wondering what made you choose the examples given in the position statement. Like we have the vertical breeds, of course, but there's also kind of like the example was mentioned with the back that they both have breeding problems, and also like it says companion animals in general, but we don't have a lot of examples for cats, no examples of any small mammals like puppies, guinea pigs or anything. So I was wondering what made you choose like the specific animals.
Susana, IVSA Expo, page number 20. Thank you for the question. So, yeah, we did have mentions about the different animals because we were just able to find research paper being published on those. And this policy paper was prepared by past year Expo, IVSA Expo, and this is just being brought to journal assembly for this time. So, we are just presenting the policy paper that was prepared by IVSA Expo in past year. I hope that answers the business.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Nadia, but I can say the Netherlands been here for 66. I might be stupid, but what are we exactly voting for tomorrow? What do I think about what are we exactly voting for tomorrow? Like we have 24 hours to think before we vote, but what exactly are we voting on?
So, Sonara, IVSA Expo, page number 20. So, in order to publish policy papers by IVSA, we need to have at least 2/3 of majority from journal assembly. So, until and unless we have 2/3 of majority, we can't publish this as a policy paper of IVSA Expo or IVSA Global. So, we will be voting to publish this through our website and to share with other member organizations.
Are there any other questions? Yes, please.
IVSA Germany meeting number 22. I would just like, in case it would get approved tomorrow, what is the plan of start for the decision paper? Will it get revised or like is it done then or will it be deleted?
So, Sonara, IVSA Expo, page number 20. So, this is like a final plan. We are presenting this policy paper and we are already sending this out to our partners and sponsors. Some of them has already used, whereas some of them has already submitted their supporting letters. So, after this is being passed, we are just going to publish it. So, we are not going to change anything. However, if we feel like there are concerns from SGA, then we will try to write next policy papers or update this afterward.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, then guys, please be sure to read this document and we will, Florian.
Florian, IVSA Germany, meeting number 11. I would like to move to postpone this agenda point until tomorrow for GA3.
The motion on the floor is to postpone this for the GA3. We will have it tomorrow. Any discussion? Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes and we will vote on this tomorrow at GA3. We usually clap when the motion passes. Okay, so in case you cannot find the document, you can ask your buddies, you can ask the official team, and we will be more than happy to provide the link so that we can go through it and then we can vote on it being informed. Okay, so now we are going to continue with agenda point 28 with the agenda from GA1 onwards. Alright, so now we will continue with the approval of minutes of the 73rd IVSA Congress in Peru. Okay, Uttara.
Venezuela, IVSA Expo, we are 10. So this is the same minus which I sent 30 days prior to the event to all the delegates. But we have done some friendly amendments and I'll list out what we have changed in the minus so that you can approve it later.
Okay, sir, IVSA India, bill number 25. I would like to request the chair to explain what a friendly amendment is before we move forward.
Okay, so a friendly amendment is an amendment that doesn't change the structure or the actual information, but usually just corrects some minor mistakes like grammatical error or mistakes in the way we wrote the amendment. So it's not going to change the information itself, just the way we're presenting it.
Just to make clear again, we don't have only Venezuela, IVSA Expo, bill number 8. So just to make it clear, we don't only have friendly amendments, we do have some really changes in this as well, which I will list out. So this is the one of the point that was sense. The witness rivers IVSA USA dominated Ahmed Sahib provided from IVSA Nigeria for the position of SSA which was the actual information that should have been kept, but this was kept within the IVSA Expo position without mentioning any position of the nominee. So after review from, because what this minor was saying was not proofread because we had time limit and we didn't get enough time to proofread. So we sent the document to the delegates and then gave the English second enough time and then we pressed the errors and everything. So we had changed this one thing. The other would be 18. Also, in the roll call for member organization, IVSA, Chile, and China. So, IVSA Chile was a candidate by them, and IVSA China was the active member, but it was written exactly opposite. Like IVSA Chile was marked as present, and IVSA China was absent. So, it was like exact opposite information. Here is another change. Rebecca Biscan asks, so we had a discussion on EIT proposal that they propose our one of the event that is symposium should go online so that we could include every many member organizations who are not able to attend it live. So in that discussion, Rebecca Biscan asked on how this could affect the development fund and auctions because you can have the usual auctions online. So it was asked by Rebecca Biscan from IVSA Hungary, but in my news it was written that Sofia from IVSA Hungary asked it. Although she arrived here on the third day, so it was the second day. Yes, Peter?
Peter Nicholas, Denmark, bill number 7. Thank you. Just a clarification question. It had marked under IVSA Colombia, I believe, in the yes, that one, I think maybe. Question marks for candidate just wanted to know maybe what that meant. I haven't noticed it before, but yes, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so on IVSA being maintained, like we have a system of making analyzing whether this ammo is active or not based on their past and present payment system that they have come to our treasurer. And whenever the status is unknown, whether they are not replying to the MOD mails and everything, so we are still confused whether they are active at the moment, even if they are paying our fees and not replying to us. And at the current moment, we don't know the current scenario whether they are active or inactive. So that's why we have this word. Okay. Thank you for the question. So the other amendment done was here. It was written there were no nominations, although Ishan nominated Donat from nominations. And the other one, which I don't know exactly which slide contains, it's actually I written IVSA Saudi Zambia instead of IVSA Zambia. So these are the only names done so far from when I sent this to all the delegates. Do anyone have questions till now? Oh, then I want to approve 73rd IVSA Congress minors.
Second.
The motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from the 73rd IVSA Congress. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes and the minutes are approved. Thank you, Brenda. Alright, then the next agenda point is Bylaw Amendment 5.1 officials. After that, Violet, please come to the seat.
Violeta Villalobos, I'm in Latvia, living number check right before. So I'm going to walk you through the bylaw amendment and then in the end we will go forward. So this bylaw amendment is about the recognitions of chairs from candidate committees and networks as officials. So candidate committees and networks are actually a really integral part of achieving the goals of IVSA through temporary specialized functions. So to formalize their leadership goals and ensure consistency in the organization and also its structure, it's quite important that the chairs of these candidate and networks and committees are defined as officials, and we also acknowledge their responsibilities and duties. So that's what this bylaw amendment will be about. I can forward. Okay. So currently in our bylaws, there's not really stated anything about candidate networks and committees with chairs. So here, this is what is written there. So basically it's describing the officials and collective term of the executive committee, etc. And this term will be used to refer to the 5 categories that are listed there. And they are the IVSA positions. So the term will last from September 1st to August 31st in the following year or until their successors are elected. And then the other parts of the bylaw, I will not read through if that's okay, because they don't apply actually to the part that I would like to amend. So for the amendment itself, basically what I want to add, is a part where we state the chairs of candidate committees and networks are also part of the IVSA officials. And this would mean that we also would have to change that there is not 5 but 6 categories of elected IVSA positions. All the rest of the bylaw amendment stays the same. Here you can see what it will look like in the end. So there will be just added these few words which are stating that chairs of candidate committees and networks are considered officials, and that there will be 6 categories of elected IVSA positions. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Violet. Are there any questions for Violet about this amendment?
Isnara is senior reading for 25, point of information, what are bylaws and what are the bylaw amendments that we're doing.
Alright, so our bylaws are an official document of IVSA that basically establish everything we can do. And if you want to check them, you have access to them, so you can just scan the QR code or go to the delegates drive and check it out. We have very precise information, and just like this, we present amendments when we want to change things or add information to them so that we can have a better functioning as an association and to have a better governance. So in this case, Violet has explained it very well, but if you have any questions, you are free to raise your hands. Okay, Avnish.
Isara is senior reading for 25, can the expo not just change bylaw on their own?
Alright, I would like to give the mic to Felix, our president.
Okay, so it's could be number 46. To answer the question of previously, no, it's cannot just change the bylaws. To change the bylaw, we need the approval by the General Assembly with forms, so at least 40%. And also, so in order to the bylaw amendment gets approved, it needs three-quarter majority to be approved.
Thank you very much, Felix. Are there any other questions?
Alright, looking at everything was, I would say what we have with number 34, I would move to approve of the amendments made to bylaw amendment 5.1 officials.
The motion on the floor is to approve the bylaw amendment 5.1 officials. Is there any discussion? Yes, please.
Felix Metzger, IVSA code number 46. I move to go to a 5-minute studies so that we can have our first party session and people can get additional explanation about what we're voting on.
So now the motion on the floor is to go into a studies, which if you remember is staying here. You can go outside of this hall, so you can talk to your buddies and get more information about it, so you can leave a vote being informed and we can have a better decision. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Then we are in studies. proceeding with this final amendment. So you have some time to discuss with your questions arise. Let's continue. So is there any discussion? Please wait for the okay.
Just point of information, are there any other bylaws? Okay, point of information, my batchmate at IVSA Slovenia, number 14. I would like to know if there are any other bylaw amendments that would apply to candidate committees and what are the broader implications of the changes that are being made in regards to funding, etc.
Okay, Violet.
Because I number 34. Thank you for your question. So, if I understand correctly, you want me to explain a bit more why this bylaw amendment basically was submitted. So, to answer your first question, yes, there is a second bylaw amendment. If I remember correctly, it will be 5.1.2, but it's like you will learn about it later in GA. So, this will refer to the reimbursement policies for chairs of candidate networks and committees. So that's also why it's important that we mention already like distinguish chairs of candidate committees and networks, and that we also take them into the collective term of IVSA officials, so we like acknowledge them as officials. And then could you please repeat the second half of your question as it was not totally clear to me? Thank you.
Batchmate IVSA Slovenia, number 14. The second part of the question was what are the broader implications of this change made besides the acknowledgement in regards to the funding and everything that is also mentioned in the other bylaw amendments? Because I don't think everyone has read through them in detail.
Alright, before I pass the mic to Violet, I would like to clarify something. Whenever you are answering or talking, you have to address the chair, which is me. So when you refer to any other delegate, you have to refer to them as the previous speaker, not directly. So thank you. Violet.
Thank you for your question, to repeat your question. So, to address this, the other implication that would be is that as IVSA officials, you are eligible to run for trust. As it is mentioned now in the bylaws, there's nothing about candidate committees and networks chairs. And there was a situation before where the chair of the candidate network in that case was not able or eligible for position of trust. So you need to have like experience in IVSA as an official, and you need to have like at least like done a term as an IVSA official. So with this bylaw amendment, that would mean that the chair of a candidate network or committee has performed all their roles and duties and is considered as an actual official. So that means it would be eligible for positions, for example, as trust. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Yes.
IVSA Germany, Bericht number 77. Does this amendment give the chairs of candidates, committees and networks any accessibility to any funds that are used for officials right now?
Number 34. I just want to clarify that chairs of the candidate networks, that we will have another bylaw amendment for this, but there are no luxuries or any other things that the chair of the candidate network will receive, or committee, I should say, my apologies. So that means the only thing that will change is just that chairs of candidate networks and committees will be eligible for these specific positions within the IVSA board. So as official, and there are no changes, like they don't get financial reimbursements, for example, or things like that. But maybe to answer your question more specifically, if that is allowed, I would like to give the word to Sujan, the committee coordinator, because I think he will be able to explain this more specifically to you. Thank you.
Susanaga, IVSA Expo, building number 20. So we don't have exact fund for even for candidate committees and network years, so we want to make sure that they are not getting fined. The only thing this bylaw was being proposed was that we are considering them as an officer, so they are unofficials of officials team, so we just want to give them acknowledgement to consider them as an officer. Other than that, there are not any hidden details within these bylaws.
Any other discussion?
Goedemiddag, ladies and gentlemen. Number 22, maybe I confused something, but like in my opinion, as I understand it, that bylaw amendment alone, it would make the chairs of candidate networks also eligible for reimbursement, and only with the other bylaw amendment, we exclude them from that. So, and if you approve that alone, and there is the risk of the other amendment not getting approved, and then there is financial improvement of that. So would it maybe be possible to vote on both bylaws at the same time and to approve them together or anything?
Okay, Felix.
Felix Metzger, IVSA, company number 46. So unfortunately, it's not possible to vote on both bylaws at the same time. Regarding the concern that this bylaw alone makes the candidate network chair eligible for a refund, this is not exactly true because we have nothing in the bylaws at the moment explaining if candidate networks are eligible for any funds. So it's true that if we accept this bylaw amendment, then afterwards we would need to deal with this question, okay, now they're official, can we do that? But this is like another discussion, so this bylaw amendment doesn't change.
Thank you. Als Agnieszka.
Vijay, I will say here very number 25, just to clarify all the previous speakers' doubts about whether or not the chair of the candidate network will be eligible for the reimbursement. Our bylaws clearly state which category of officials is eligible for which type of reimbursement, and by adding this in our bylaws right now, we are still not clarifying whether or not they be eligible for reimbursement. So there's nothing at the back of it like, oh, they are officials, should they get reimbursed? We need to add that in a separate bylaw if we want to have it in there. And because it's going to be in another bylaw amendment, we will not discuss it right now. We'll discuss it when it comes to that bylaw.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Is there any other discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes, and bylaw amendment 5.1 officials has been approved. Thank you very much, Robert. Now, moving on to the next agenda point. It is updates of the IVSA activities. And the first presentation is Felix.
All right, Felix Metzger, IVSA, it's company number 46. Hello. I would like to give you an update about what I did as president specifically over the last 6 months. Here is a picture of my team. You can see me. Very handsome in the background. However, of course, this is not my whole team. Here's my team. Yes, all the officials. And those that I couldn't display here are you. All of you, because you are what makes IVSA so amazing. So without you, I couldn't work on anything here right now. So thanks to all of you. Yes. So let me talk about some projects that we tackled as IVSA Global. So first of all, did arrow move it? So first of all, we had a change of our meeting structure. So normally we had our ex-campus officials meetings once every every 4 to 6 weeks and over a full weekend. We changed it and now we have them every 3 weeks, but therefore shorter. So the meetings are shorter and we have more meetings during the term. The benefits of that in our opinion are that we have more time at the weekends when we have already the full weekend is done. We have more updates for general awareness of each other, like what is going on, what is happening, and we have more frequent chance to discuss important topics in those meetings. And in general, I think we have an overall communication with that change. So the results so far, in my opinion, are great. We are quite happy with it, but of course we keep evaluating, and if we at some point we decide not, it's not working like that anymore, we can change it anytime. We're also working on guidelines, and we're currently doing overall update of various guidelines and write models for all of officials, so the general handover period gets getting easier and easier, and a lot of things just become more clear. Here's an overview about our partners, because as president it's my main responsibility to deal with all our partners, to stay in contact with them, and also to work on our current contracts and just keep the interaction alive. So we get notifications about certain opportunities and so on. We have been working on some new partnerships. Why am I saying new exclamation marks? Because we have some ongoing local partnerships, like with IVSA, and the ADE Foundation, that currently are not very active. So our goal for the other months is to increase that interaction, to make sure that we communicate more, to have more projects with them. We also have potential new partnerships, like really new partnerships. One of them would be the vet show. We may have heard about the London vet show, Singapore vet show, I don't know what else. There are a lot of vet shows around the world, and we're currently discussing with them if we could get discounts for students and alumni at those vet shows, and access to the Vet Show Academy, to just name a few examples, and therefore working with advertising for them, notifications, like giving awareness of their vet shows to students. The second partnership we're aiming for is with WAFNA. WAFNA is the World Association for Veterinarians working with marine animals. We once had a partnership with them, however it kind of got lost during COVID. So we want to revive that one and work together with workshops and webinars, and also there have been talks about potential travel grants for the IVSA Congress. Then I also like to give an update about the memorandums of understanding we signed as IVSA. So we signed an MOU with GlueUp, which is basically the provider for our website for 2 years. There will be a more detailed update about the price of this at the Treasurer report. And we signed a contract with Singapore Vet Show specifically for the event 2024. We signed the contract in October, the event was in October. So we did not make much of it. We did a little bit of advertisement, however, not many things happened based on this signing. So the question might be, why did we do it? The reason is that we want to show, hey, we are willing to collaborate, we are willing to work with you, because we see a lot of benefits in the vet show itself, and based on this signature, we kept the communication ongoing, and are now in talks for a bigger contract that is really affecting the whole world and all vet shows worldwide. Besides that, we have potential upcoming signings, like with the IVSA, so the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation. We've had an MOU last year. We're currently working on a new one, just to make it more updated and a bit more fitting to our needs as IVSF and IVSA. I also would like to give you an update about our membership at ECOSOC. So, to quickly explain, ECOSOC is basically a sub-part of the United Nations, in which we as IVSA, as an NGO, fall. So it's really important to be part of ECOSOC. However, our membership is currently pending, since there were updates not being sent in the past. So right now we're working to update this, to keep our membership alive, so we stay part of ECOSOC, and therefore also have the chance to attend certain events by the United Nations. For example, the United Nations General Assembly. Alright. want to give you an update about executive sessions. What is an executive session? It's basically a session just between EXCO members in which we discuss a certain topic. This term so far there was only one executive session, and it was on the 29th of September 2024. What did we discuss? The travel grants for the SYMPOSIUM in Morocco, because we were, like it was hard for us to decide, okay, how many travel grants do we want to do, and which decision we're going to make. So we had the executive session, and there we decided we want to have 3 travel grants, each worth €1,000, and thanks to that we have Steve, Ebenezer, and normally also David from Nigeria attending the event. So, what are our goals for the rest of the term? We want to follow the strategic plan, we want to keep and improve our partnership with IVSA, keep and improve the internal IVSA work environment, update our position guidelines, increase the interaction between IVSA Global and member organizations, and for that, it's really important. During these events, yes, the officials are always like running around, working with things, but that doesn't mean we're not approachable. So for example, at dinner, at lunch, basically the whole time. Just like if you have like something that disturbs you, just come to us. Let us know how you're feeling about how everything works at the moment. If you feel like we should change anything, please let us know, because only if we know we can actually change something. So please feel encouraged to talk with us about your problems as an MO. And they may be like really specific for your MO, but we want to help you as good as we can. So based on that, we want to listen to you, the something's goal, and to your problems. And also no sleeping over there. We really want to make IVSA a little bit better. We change the officials every year, and 1 year seems like a lot on the other side, and when you get used to your position, it's really not. So we really hope we can make IVSA a little bit better, and that basically is all we want to achieve. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can always talk to me or reach out to me to get this together. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Felix, for all the work and for the amazing presentation. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Felix. So there was a mistake in the agenda, in the order of the presentation. So now we have bylaw amendment 5.3.2 reimbursement policy as agenda point number 15, and we will go to that point. If that's in the GAB, but you can also do it. Alright, so for this proposed bylaw amendment, I would like to invite Violet or Susan. Yes, Susan, come on.
So Sandra, I will say extra bill number 20. So proposed bylaws amendment is for clarification on reimbursement policy for officers of candidate committees of network. To ensure the fairness and financial clarity, it is essential to distinguish between reimbursement policies for current officers and officers of candidate committees and network. To ensure clarity, it is necessary to explicitly state that candidate committees of network are not eligible for reimbursement, aligning with their temporary and candidate status within organizations. Currently, our bylaws state that 5.3.2 secretaries, committees, chair, and regional representative half 50% of reimbursement fees of secretaries, chairs of standing committees and network, and regional representative for Congress, or the symposium of IVSA shall be covered by IVSA Central Fund. Secretaries, chairs of standing committees and network, and the regional representatives shall be reimbursed for 1/4 of their travel expenses at a minimum cost rate from IVSA Central Fund for attending the congress or symposium at the ease of their term. Bylaws amendment. I move to add 5.3.2 secretary committee chairs and regional representative have 50% of registration fees of secretaries, chairs of standing committees and network, and regional representative for the congress or symposium of IVSA shall be covered by IVSA Central Fund. Secretary, chair of standing committees and network, and regional representatives shall be reimbursed for 1/4 of their travel expenses at a minimum cost rate from IVSA Central Fund for attending congress or the symposium at the end of their term. Chairs of candidate committees for network are not eligible for half of the registration fee or reimbursement of travel expenses for the congress and symposia of IVSA. So the careful mentioned section of IVSA bylaws will look like following.
Thank you, Sushan. Now, anyways, the chair would like to would entertain a motion to approve bylaw amendment 543.2 reimbursement policy. Voting?
Using as member of IVSA Germany, bidding number 63. I so move.
So, motion on the floor is to approve bylaw amendment 5.3.2 reimbursement policy. Is there any discussion? Yes, Felix.
Felix Metzger, IVSA ex-code number 46. I move to go to a 5-minute stand piece so that the delegates can again talk with the bodies about this bylaw amendment.
The motion on the floor is to go into a standards. Is there any discussion? Any of, oh, yeah.
Nadia Breder for the IVSA the Netherlands, bidding number 66. We go, I move to, I think, if we go into a studies, if we at least see more of the document, please.
Yes. And I want to remind everyone that these documents are in the delegates drive. So you can always check them, not just during the presentations, but you have access to them all the time. So whatever you want to do, you can just find them in our drive. So, any objections? Seeing none, we are in standards. back to an order at 4:42 p.m. BST. Last one.
I'm Yula, IVSA Germany, and reading number 9. I want to ask for kind of privilege. Kind of privilege. I need to go to the bathroom, please.
Alright, let's continue.
So Sonara, IVSA Expo, reading number 20. I move to approve bylaws amendment 5.3.2 reimbursement policy.
The motion on the floor is to approve bylaw amendment 5.3.2 reimbursement policy. Is there any discussion? Yes, Alice.
Mr. IVSA India, bill number 25, parliamentary inquiry. Are we allowed to make a friendly amendment to this bylaw amendment?
Okay. Florian.
Florian Schilling, IVSA Germany, bidding number 11. Yes, friendly amendments can be done to a bylaw amendment proposal. But there needs to be proposed what the amendment will be.
Thank you, Florian. Now, Alice.
Mr. IVSA India, bill number 25, I move to have a friendly amendment to the presented bylaw amendment, which is removing the space between not and eligible at both places, so that we don't have a red line to be seen.
Alright, so as you remember, probably, friendly amendments don't really change the content, just the way we present the information. So the motion on the floor is to make a friendly amendment and remove the space between not and eligible. Here. Any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Alice. Alright, so going back to the previous one, is there any other discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. And bylaw amendment 5.3.2, reimbursement policy, has been approved. Alright, so moving on to the next agenda point, that is Secretary General update, and that will be Upenda's presentation.
Venezuela, IVSA Expo, bidding number 8. So, under the explain the update on Secretary. We have been 4 months since we have started the Donald Expos, and this is my updating. One is to the secretaries, which are divided to 7 different expo positions. So they are helping the expos to how to do their tasks. So my major works are with the internal affairs, one-on-one meetings with the secretaries, with president, and having an specific project for this one. So starting with internal affairs, so this should have been well do. Starting with internal affairs, the task is to create and maintain IVSA emails and groups on Google and Microsoft platforms. Assisting in your recovery of AMOs, LCs, and personal emails, operating phone numbers, and actual security access. Collaborating with presidents to organize and execute general assembly sessions, operating bylaws, monitoring online So on an expo meeting is an official, where all officers attend the meeting. An expo session is for a certain discussion where only expo attend to discuss on something. So for one-on-one meetings, secondary years, I'm doing a regular meeting once in 2 months to make sure they get involved with exco team they are assigned with, working with the project with them for the term, distributing the command secretariat for the tasks accordingly. These are the 2 ongoing projects that we have. So one is handovers manual. So this is a manual to expose and trust for this 24-25, which is listed on the strategic plan 24-29. So in this handover manual, we are updating what needs to be written in a handover document of expos and trustees, so that the next position it would be helpful for the next position what needs to be done in this term. And the second one is on the report of AI applications in IVSA. What are the applications that we use in IVSA? For example, while mining, I'm taking a mine with the help of Coder.ai and I will be transfer the voice into text. So it really helps. So we are analyzing the other AI softwares, applications, platforms that will be used in IVSA so that it will be more integrated and it will save our time as well. So this only handover is in progress right now, and the report of AI application will be in progress after the symposium. The other tasks are, the other thing is having one-on-one with the president, having a regular meeting with the president to discuss on the ongoing and the future work, managing the event to ensure smooth preparation for any events meetings, to improve procedural and executive efficiency, to address the time management and make a timeline of different projects that we are implementing, we are conducting, and ensuring everything goes well. So, thank you. If you are discussed with us, sorry for that.
Thank you very much, Ubenda, for your presentation and all the hard work. Are there any questions? Seeing none, let's move on to the next agenda point. Oh yes, please.
Felix Metzger, IVSA Exco, number 46. I move to go to a 15-minute recess so the delegates can catch some fresh air and go to the toilet.
The motion on the floor, no, we cannot go yet. Stacy. The motion on the floor is to go into a 15-minute recess. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, now we are in a